I'm Ann Simmons, reporting from the newsroom of the Los Angeles Times. Voters in New York City are going to the polls today to begin picking a new mayor and city controller. It is the mayoral race that has generated the most intrigue, primarily thanks to Anthony Weiner, the former congressman who has been embroiled in a sexting scandal. Poll numbers for the once popular Wiener have fallen sharply, but the beleaguered candidate appeared to remain optimistic as he headed to today's primary. Times staff writer Tina Susman joins me from New York to shed light on how the race appears to be unfolding. Welcome, Tina.
Hi, Ann.
So tell us, Tina, has Weiner's candidacy disintegrated, or does he still stand a chance? Or at least does he think he stands a chance?
Well, I think if you believe the polls, it would really take a miracle for Anthony Weiner to make it into a runoff at this point. The latest poll showed him in fourth place, lagging far behind the front runners with only about 6% support. And even he, in recent days, has appeared a little bit more circumspect. For instance, when he voted today, he said, okay, I'm not the perfect messenger. He still says he has the best ideas, but I think most candidates would, have to look squarely at those numbers and admit that things are not looking so great for him right now.
And who are the front runners? Who are Weiner's competitors?
Well, the big front runner is the public advocate, Bill de Blasio, and he's really soared ahead in recent weeks. And this has been really interesting to watch because it was just a few weeks ago that Bill de Blasio was lagging behind the former front runner, City Council Speaker Christine Quinn and Anthony Weiner. Now Christine Quinn is in second place, and she's fighting it out for second place with Bill Thompson, who has also surged ahead. They've all appeared to capitalize off Weiner's kind of implosion in recent weeks.
And what needs to happen in order to avoid a runoff?
One candidate has to get at least 40% of the vote to avoid a runoff, which would take place in October. Initially, it didn't seem that it would be possible to avoid a runoff. But with Bill de Blasio's showing in the polls recently, I think the most recent poll showed him with upwards of 35% of support among Democratic voters. It's now looking as if he could actually pull it off and avoid a runoff. He would just have to win over some of those undecided voters who still constitute roughly 8% of the people responding to the latest polls.
And just to wrap up, Tina, what's the mood like there now among New Yorkers? I mean, they've got this Weiner scandal and they've got the other candidate to choose from. What's the atmosphere?
Most voters are pretty tired of the Weiner scandal, and they make no secret about that. One thing about New York City elections, they are famously low for voter turnout. The last mayoral election in 2009, fewer than 20% of registered voters cast ballots. One thing is, some analysts say that there might be a better turnout in this primary because, number one, there's no incumbent, so that takes away some voter complacency. And secondly, there are a lot of real hot-button issues at stake, and there's been intense media coverage of the candidates.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Tina.
Thank you for having me.
For more on today's primary, please visit latimes.com.